Alright, this one's gonna be on notekami. It is a script I created for myself. Um, Basically, if you ever use my FCF Nova, this is how we're gonna launch it here. Alright, and it's just a FCF menu, and it has a couple options here like scratch paper, snippets, copy, edit, create, search, info, and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go through one by one, and this is how I manage all my notes and snippets and cheat sheets and stuff like that. So first one being scratch paper. This one is like, I'll say it's kind of like what I did with Twitter. When I was using Twitter before Elon kicked me out, I was just like putting out random ideas, out on the internet, or like my own like was that own thoughts and stuff like that. And so this is basically what it is here. All right, it's just a scratch paper, and when you open it, it's gonna do a timestamp, right? And I can write my ideas down here, right? It doesn't mean you have to like flow with anything unorganized, and yeah, that's what we're doing for this scratch paper. So whenever you save it, right, and then you run the program again, it's just gonna do another one here, and I had a teacher that says like if you couldn't sleep because you had an idea in your head, you want to write it down. So that's what this one is good for too. Just write it down, even though you don't really necessarily gonna use that idea. You're just gonna write it down, and if you ever need to use it, you can go back to your notes, right? I got this idea from I was watching a couple of YouTube videos from like other Linux users and how they manage their notes. Most of them were crap, but this is one by was that Nick Janetakis. I'll link you to his video. But yeah, this is what he was doing. The only difference between mine and his is that mine has a timestamp because in a month, there's a lot of dates in between it. So basically, what it does is that every month it's gonna do a new text file. It'll automatically generate it when you know create a new notes or whatever it is, or a new scratch paper. I mean, so do like the year and then the month and then just txt file. And technically, I really didn't steal it from him because he said he stole it from the guy that made Doom, and that the guy that made Doom was like, this is how they were logging their stuff, just plain text file, and then you just save it, right? And all this one is gonna be saved into your note kami folder, and inside it is just be your scratch paper. And you see like every month, if you wrote notes that month, it was gonna show up here. So I started like back in like like 6-7 months ago, right? At the end of December here. All right. So these are my notes, and it's just plain text files. It's not gonna take up a lot of space, right? And this is how you would manage it. Every month it will just be whatever it is that's random. It doesn't have to make sense. Look at here, a bunch of stuff I just randomly got in here. All right. And so that's how the scratch paper works. So all you gotta do is bust out your notekami, and let's say you pretend like you're tweeting something like that. You can do it in here. Not a big issue, right? Um, so that's it for the scratch paper idea. What's the next one? So if you ever use the cheat program, it will manage your cheat sheets for like your programming language, your shell scripts, or stuff like that. The one thing I hate about the cheat program, let me give you an example here. So we're doing awk here, is that when it prints out all this stuff, and you want to copy it, you have to go manually copy the stupid code, right? And it's so annoying to use this. That's why I really don't use anymore. So this is how mine works here. So here we go. We have snippets, and in here you just search for the title. Right, let's say for example we do the awk thing, and here's all my awk commands that I've used, stuff like that. So for example, you know, what was it here? Let's say this one here, right? I want to copy this to my clipboard. Boop, it's in my clipboard, right? And it will actually copy to multiple clipboards. So you know, some people are using X, some people are using Wayland, um, Termux, Windows, Mac. What other ones are there? And then Tmux. So if you want to use this in pure Tmux, you can do it too, right? Anyways, that's how we do that. And the good thing about this, like snippets here, is that let's say if I see something wrong, let's say I'm doing grep or something like that, and I say, oh, okay, look at this one here. Maybe I see something wrong in the code, or maybe I want to add something to it, right? They have these hotkeys up here. Look at this. Control O to edit line, Control R to reload, and so on and so forth here for navigation, right? But let's say I do Control O, it will actually jump me directly to that line. Look at that. I don't have to search for anything. It jumps me directly to that line. I can add like new stuff in here. Let's say sort. Let's say we'll add another one. Grep. Hello. Something like that, right? And look at that. We're going to do Control R to reload it. And look at that. We have our code updated. And, you know, that's our, you know, matching stuff. So the way that works in here is that the pattern is, or the syntax is that you have two empty spaces and then two empty spaces at the end to end it. And whatever's in here, your block of code, it's going to be copied to your clipboard. So that's mainly how it works, right? So this one, you started out with 4 of these pound signs and a semicolon. The reason why I did that is because I didn't want to conflict it with, like, you know, people want to take in like markdown for their cheat sheets. So that's why we're doing the semicolon here, right? And if you want to write notes to this, you can do 3 of these, or you can do 2 of these and then a semicolon, and these will be your, you know, comments, right? And then this is more comments, and so on and so forth. You can do as many as you want, right? And here you can actually do spaces, 1 space. If you do 2 spaces, it's not gonna work, right? Because that 2 spaces will end whatever is gonna copy. So you can write as much as you want in here. You can do 1 space, but make sure you don't do 2 spaces within the code. But so let's say we update it here, Control R, and you see now it says, you know, the stuff that we got. And we want to preview it, you do Control J and K to page up, page down our preview. And see, this is what it's going to copy. So if I hit enter on this, it's going to copy to my clipboard, and we'll do bust out Vim here. And basically that's what it's going to copy and paste to your, you know, your clipboard. So it gets rid of all the ones that has the, you know, pound signs and semicolons. So basically your title, your comments is not going to copy that, but it copies everything else besides, you know, and it'll end it wherever the double spaces are at, right? Or not the double space, the double empty lines are at, right? Anyways, that's how that one works. And if you want to get more help on that, I'll give you an info here, right? So you see it says leave 2 empty lines, and then there's your description, and then your comments, and then you know, your block of code, and then you leave another 2 empty lines to end the snippet. And pretty much, oh yeah, you don't want to use any weird symbols, mainly because I'm using awk and I don't know how to do it properly. But let's do that again here. We'll do grep. Right, so let's say, for example, this one that we did. Oops, let's do that again here. So still edit it. Oh, that's not the one. Snippets, grep. Oh, what's the one we did? We just did this one. Let's hit Control O. So in here, make sure that your title or your description of, you know, this code, whatever it is, this block of code, make sure it's like, you know, A to Z. Make sure there's no symbols or something like that. I think you can do other languages, like, you know, other languages on there. or anything that aux supports. So I think you can do like Japanese stuff, characters, even some of those what was it? What are the characters? Like Chinese characters would be no problem. But make sure you don't do like weird symbols or stuff like that. It doesn't work well with on this thing. So just keep it to alphabetical letters, right? And you should be fine. But yeah, that's really all the requirements are. Two spaces in between the thing. And if you, so this one is a whole cheat sheet, right? This one's a whole cheat sheet. Now the ones that doesn't have the, what is that, the for and a semicolon, the pound sign, the semicolon. So this one you can see it doesn't show up when we're doing our snippets. You see this one says one per line, grep here, all right? So if I try to do that here, I do grep one. See, it doesn't have that line in there. But if we do, what was that one? Let's go in there again, one per line. So if I want to make this show up, it's real simple. I just do, for that semicolon. And if we do one per line stuff again, we didn't do reload, control R. And now we do grep one, and look at that, it shows up, right? So that's how you would add it to your snippets if you want to use it. Otherwise, if you don't want it to show up, you don't add any of that syntax. Like some of these stuff here, I have it in here, but I don't use it with my snippets because, it's not something I want to copy. So it's not going to show up, right? So you can still use this as your cheat sheet. And if you want your snippets to show up, you will actually, have to properly do the stuff I just said, right? Anyways, that's it for the snippets and cheat sheets and stuff like that. And those are saved into your well, you should want to save it into your cheat sheet here. So just create a folder called cheat sheet, and you can actually just make subfolders if you want to categorize it. Like let's say you're doing C++, Python, whatever it is, and then you will put it in different folders. And make sure you have the proper extension, because we are using the bat command, and the bat command has the syntax highlighting for it, right? So you see this one is like C++, this one is C, and I think maybe I have some Python, but mostly those stuff I have is just shell script stuff, or shell commands, I mean, all right? And you see it has syntax highlighting, and that's basically because of the bat command. I actually didn't really want to use the bat command, but I think that one's going to be future proof because it's going to be maintaining for a long time, and it has syntax highlighting. So that's why I use it, the bat command. Mainly because I don't think any default syntax highlighting program it's in like the core utils or anything that. I didn't see anything in there. Anyways, that's the bat command for syntax highlighting. So that's it. All your cheat sheet should be in there. And that's where it's gonna search it from. What else are we gonna talk about in here? So as far as copy, it's basically just copies everything in that file. So let's say, for example, what do we do for awk, right? What is it? Shell cmd. So let's say if I'm doing awk here, I copy everything to my clipboard. I mainly use this like if you have a template and you want to like copy and paste it really quick, this is mainly what I would use it for, right? Just copy everything in that file, and it copies everything to your clipboard. So that's really self-explanatory for the copy stuff, right? It just copies whatever file to your clipboard. I mainly use that for templates, right? And as far as editing, real simple. If you know the file that you want to edit, so let's say for example my Sega Saturn stuff here, right? I go in here and look at that. I have my Saru here. Oh, by the way, I'm still using VimWiki, so I can still use VimWiki's stuff to jump around since these ones are in Markdown. So there you go, right? I can jump to the files I already know of. So let's say, for example, edit. This one's mainly just to, if you know what file you want to edit, then you can just jump to it, right? You can jump to your awk here, right? So that's editing. What is next? Oh, if you want to create a new file, so we do create here. Make sure there's no spaces. This program doesn't really like any spaces, but if you want to create a new one, let's say, for example, testing.md. All right, we'll say whatever it is. And where does it save to? By default, it saves it to your notekami folder here. This is in your .config/notekami, and you see this is the testing. And so if you don't want to organize it, it's just going to be by default in here. Now, if you do want to organize it and stuff like that, you can actually create a subfolder or something like that, right? So let's say, for example, we'll do zjunko / and we'll say, you know, today.txt or something like that. No, actually, we do md, right? All right, so you can type whatever you want in here. And if you're using vimwiki, you can still do, you know, link this note, whatever it is, right? And you can still use vimwiki, no problems, right? Look at that. And now we go to zjunko, and you know, here we go. This is it. And you have all your notes categorized, you know, in a kind of organization folders, right? Anything else in here? So create. Okay, searching. I love. That's the one thing I always hated about all my notes before, is I couldn't search properly. So let's say if I don't remember what notes it's from, I'll just use the search feature here. So if I want to search, let's say, for example, my Sega Saturn, and I know it's called a Saru, right? And let's say I'm looking for format. Look at that, it jumps me. It's gonna jump me directly to that file, open that exact line that I'm looking for. So in this case is line 27. Look at this, open this, line 27. I know exactly what it is here, right? Right there, right? Let's say do that again, for example. Notekami search, I'm gonna do Saru, I'm gonna do exfat, and look at this, it will jump me directly to line 32, exfat. So I don't have to waste my time opening the stupid file and then searching for exfat. It just jumps me directly to, you know, the ones that I selected. So that's the searching in there. It will search everything in here. So everything in here, right? So even if I do, was it the cheat sheet search? I think we do grab one line per something like that. Look at that, we have that one in here. Look at it, jumps me directly to that line, and then if I want to edit it, great, right? So any of your files in there, you can search from it, and since all of these are plain text, it's gonna be quick as shit, right? What else is there? Yeah, so we have the info like I showed you before. It shows you how to write the snippets. There's some issues with symbols, and what else is there? So here's some snippets idea that you can do. There's hotkeys, and that's pretty much it. Now if you want to use this from the command line, just make sure you do, yeah, just call it notekami instead of the other one here. So this one's for my FZF Nova, but if you just want to use it as a regular script, just call it notekami. And we do notekami, and we do a -h to what is this here? These are all your options in here. So let's say, for example, if you want to run this without any you know, flags or anything like that, it's just gonna start up the same thing that we did before, right? Same stuff. But if you want to do like command line, you can do what do we do? Oh yeah, for the scratch paper, you can do that in here. So it's a -A here, and you just type in your message. This is a message to save, and this will automatically add it to your scratch paper. So if you want to view your scratch paper, you do capital A here, and here this is the message that we had last time, right? And that's how it's gonna do. Real simple. So the -A is if you want to type it manually. So if I want to type some stuff manually in here, I can do that, right? So anytime you want to manually open a your text editor to write this, you just do a capital A. If you want to just type in the command line, you can do, you know, it's just gonna automatically add that to your, you know, your scratch paper, right? So you see, there you go, right? Anyways, that's how you would do your scratch paper stuff. What are some other options we have in here? You can do edit, and edit will create a new one or edit an existing file. So if I do -E here, and I want to do, let's put a new folder, right? ZZ trash or something like that. Let's say new file.md, and see it says that this directory doesn't exist. You want to create it? We'll say yes, and then we have our file here, right? And so we save it, and now you can see that we have ZZ trash here, and there's our new file. So if you want to organize it that way, you can do it that. What else is there? Now if you want to run this without any you know, like arguments, just the flag E, basically it's just gonna open this thing, and you can edit your you know, whatever this file that you want to do, like our testing file here. We can edit it here, right? So if you want to do without any arguments, just the flag itself, -E, then it'll open it with an FCF menu. And so there you go. What are our options again? H. So listing, it just lists out all your files and your directory in there, just in case you forget, it'll be in there. And printing, if you want to print something, actually you don't even have to use the P flag. You can actually just type out your you know, the name of the file that you want to print out. So for example, what do we got here? We have cheat sheet. Okay, let's say for example P, we're gonna do cheat sheet, if I spell it right. In my shell CMD folder, I have an awk sh, right? That will print it out. Same thing if you do it without the P flag, because that's like the default behavior. I'll just print it out to your screen. What else is there? You can do searching here too. Searching, you only do one keyword though if you want to do it in a command line way. So let's say for example I do Saru, right? And then you would have to actually manually go to that line in that file. It's kind of annoying, but if you do it like this, it'll just bust out your FCF, and you can do the same stuff that we've done. So Saru exfat, and look at that, we jumped to that file, right? Anything else in here that we're gonna do? That's mainly it. That's all I really want to talk about. And so this is what I've been using for the last 6-7 months, and I love it so far. You know, it's really convenient. It's all in plain text, so you can sync this to your sync thing, your Dropbox, whatever it is, you know, whatever mechanism that you want to you know, mirror to different computers or phones or whatever it is. It's up to you. Anyways, I mainly use this with, you know, my FCF Nova, and I'll just do it here. If I'm using pure tmux, if I want to use it in my desktop, I can just bust out a terminal, right? Do the same stuff. Anyways, that's it for this one.